Hello everybody, here's our chapter 7 test. So follow along, listen carefully, make sure you show all of your work. That's emphasized right here. So here we go without further ado. In questions 1 and 2, we're to evaluate, which means solve. Okay. You could use your calculator, or I would want to remind you simply that 27 to the negative 5/3, you're going to set this up in a radical. The 3 goes in front, 27 would go in there, and then the whole thing is to the negative 5th. Excuse me. But remember, if there's a negative power, it's going to want to move down to the bottom of the fraction. Okay? So I'm just going to kind of erase that a little bit away from number 2. But in number 2, pretty straightforward here. You're going to take the 6th root of 64 to the 2nd power. So you could plug all that in to your calculator at once, or you could take the 6th root of 64 first, and then whatever answer you get, take that to the 2nd power. In number 3, we're just going to solve for x. So remember, get rid of the 2 first, bring it over. Okay, and I always like to have my lines there when I'm solving an equation. Get rid of the 2, and then remember at the very end you're going to get rid of that 5th power, which means we're going to take the 5th root to both sides. 4, 5, and 6, we're just going to simplify these expressions. Again, like I talked to you about in number 1, x to the negative 4/3 power, we're going to set this up as a radical. Remember, this is going to go out front, and then it's going to be to the negative 4th. But again, if that's a negative exponent, what do you got to do? So simplify there. Number 5 is pretty straightforward. If the roots are all the same, what do we just do with these numbers? And leave the root like it is. And in number 6, they're taking the square root of each value in there. So basically think of it as square root of 18. What do you get? Square root of x to the 10th. And remember, you got to have pairs if you're taking the square root. So how many pairs out of 10 and 14 can I take out? Anybody that's left would stay inside the radical. And then you put them all together with one radical, and maybe any numbers out front, and any numbers or letters left inside would go inside the radical like this. Okay, question number 7. Remember, to solve these, you need to square both sides first, and then you're just left with the numbers and letters inside the radical, and then solve from there. Please make sure you check your answer. Plug it back in and show that you're checking your work to make it work. You're going to get points for that, maybe even a bonus point if you check your answer. Again, here in number 8, like 7, we're going to solve. Don't forget to check your answer. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is maybe move that 2. You're just solving a normal equation. Okay, and then just as an example, if I had x to the 2/3 power and I wanted to get rid of it and lose that exponent, I would multiply by the reciprocal, 3/2. They would cancel. And then you would do that to anything on the other side of the equation as well. I'll give you a little guidance on what to do with this guy right here. Okay, we're doing some function work at 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we have the function of x is, f of x is 2x plus 5, and g of x is 4x minus 9. Okay, number 9 and 10 are really straightforward and simple. You're just going to add these two together, combine like terms. Just want to caution you though, in number 10, it'd be 2x plus 5 minus, and then the whole thing. So you're going to need to distribute that negative to both of those guys, and then combine your like terms. Number 11, we're just multiplying them together. Now, if I'm multiplying those together, I would make the box like this. I'm going to have 2x plus 5 and 4x minus 9. And multiply those. Don't forget to combine your like terms that are right here. And then we're going to divide on the last one, so you're going to have 2x plus 5 up top and the 4x minus 9 on the bottom. Simplify anything that you can here. Down to number 13, we're going to kind of say, okay, f of x, which is 2x plus 5, so 2 instead of x, we're going to plug in the g of x, which is 4x minus 9 plus 5. And then finish from there, simplifying. On number 14, they want us to find the inverse of this function. So remember, the first step is we take out this f of x and make it y equals 2x plus 5. And then we switch the x and y. So now it's x equals 2y plus 5. You now want to solve for y and get him all by himself. And then your final answer, remember, you're going to write f of negative x equals whatever you get for y when you solve for him down here. That goes right here. Okay, 15, 16. You're just going to plug these into your graphic calculator. One thing is, remember, when you put in the radicals, once you put in x minus 2, hit the arrow over to say plus 3 or minus 4. Remember, you need to find your turning point. The domain is the x values. The range is the y's. 17 and 18, again, you're just using your graphic calculator. You're going to want to plug these in for L1. And then find the standard deviation, round it to the nearest tenth. And lastly, question 18, you want to simply see, their averages are the same, so who is more spread out? Look at these numbers to tell you that. Give number 19, the bonus, a shot. Do the best you can. That's the end of our test. Have a great rest of your day.